I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's saying enough. It's time to receive for all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, to get the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jazz. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't he son of believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time if a dollar so caught eyes. They get X'd out, but they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all out, Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this, go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing, keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger.
Ay, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat in submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash and the distance ain't coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk, I just show them. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing, keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get Some people love me, and they don't even know I have a hard time loving myself. Some people judge me, and they don't even know I have a hard time judging myself. Life gets ugly, but I grab a paintbrush and paint a pretty smile on myself. Mouth stay shut even when I need help. In too deep in the water, Mike Phelps. Swimming lessons, I still got many unanswered questions. Sick of the anger, sick of depression. Wanna be grateful, count your blessings. Just give me my salad, you keep the dressing. Cause I'm cream of the crop. He paid the price, I'm worth a lot. He told me go, why would I stop? Rest on my thoughts, jump off the tire rope. D'Lo Brown with the frog splash. Leaps of faith, what I call that. If you hit my line for the old me, when I hang up on you, don't call back. I ain't gon' block my blessings, I'd rather block your number. Life taught me so many lessons, Been down bad, never under. That's breath in my lungs. Some people die young, where I come from. Woke up and gave thanks to Father and Son. Filled with the Spirit, I shine like the sun. Ghost in me, but I ain't haunted. Bad vibes, keep them, don't want it. Pride hard to swallow, doggone it. And you were really never my opponent. I'm fighting evil, man, they hearts black. They wanted my life, told them back. Got an itch for sin, can't scratch that. Keep the truth loaded in the black gap. Just know if I said it, I'm in it, and they gon' take it back. Learn the game brighter than my granddaddy's Cadillac. Young man, old song, imagine that. Ain't in my control, gotta pray, let them handle that. God hit my line, get me to play. Roger that, gang torn, alright, you hate like a running back. If you ain't catch everything I said, better run it back. Eating up this beat, break bread, where your sandwich at, y'all. Thought I was done? No, this beat ain't like Kobe, I'm too full. My God, sick old mode, he too cold. I'm skating on beats, frozen with the flow.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATP. Shout out to my boy DZ. Oh, baby. Guys, I am amped up right now, and you guys know why. It's because Bitcoin is going absolutely crazy. And guys, we got an amazing show for you tonight because Bitcoin cannot contain itself. just moving sideways. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here and tuning into this 2-hour TA live stream slash sideways watching paint dry live stream. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Bitcoin has essentially not done a dang thing for a long time. So obviously, guys, not the most exciting price action on Bitcoin, but we have had some pretty interesting price action on other things such as Hex, such as Curve, etc., etc. Obviously, we're getting some big breakdowns. Shout out to Creighton C. Says, I literally just checked the Bitcoin price. I was like, WTF, really? Yeah, shout out to Creighton C. Yeah, obviously, I'm being sarcastic, guys. Bitcoin continuing to range around not only in our macro range, but also just like stuck in a sideways micro range. So I want to break it down. I want to talk about some of the key levels we need to be keeping our eye on to the downside because we have had some things change over the weekend. We've confirmed some bearish signals on the higher time frames. Hint, hint, that weekly bearish divergence. I know you guys know what we're talking about. So we're going to be covering that stuff, the key levels to the downside, as well as some levels that I will be looking at to the upside in case we do get a move up before continuing down. And we're going to talk about the possibility of maybe not continuing down and how likely I think that's going to be. So we're going to break down Bitcoin, guys. Probably going to be a pretty quick analysis on Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at some of those altcoins. But before we do that, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain or pleasure, which I forget who said it. I think Wick589 was like, hashtag when more interesting wheel. This is something we've been talking about for quite some time, adding some really cool stuff to the wheel rather than just giveaway or no giveaway. So we are going to be working in that stuff into the wheel, guys, soon. Shout out to Wick589. He says when, I say soon. Just like the chemistry bro, just like the hoodies. When? Soon. But shout out to you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if we get 550 likes on today's live stream, what just happened? If we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, guys, we will be spinning the wheel 15 times, which will just give you guys more chance to win a giveaway here. But like I said, guys, we got some really, really, really saucy price action to break down. But before we jump into the charts, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Mafia. I see you guys in here. Yeah, shout out to Paper Beats Rock. I would agree, man. I would say paper beats rock, and just about anything beats Bitcoin right now. Shout out to Paper Beats Rock, says BTC needs some trading volume. I would go ahead and second that for sure. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to B Team Crypto, said, Frankie, remember when the crickets were on the wheel of pain and pleasure? I do. We used to eat crickets, guys, when we would land on the wheel when it said eat crickets. Yeah, but then I started chirping at night, and my doctor told me to cut the crickets immediately. So shout out to B Team Crypto, absolute OG of the channel. If you guys remember back to those days when we used to eat the crickets, we're gonna try to do something fun with the wheel. And guys, we got a lot of stuff as we gear up to move into what is potentially going to be the next bull run. If we ever get going here, we are going to be setting up some really, really cool, exciting stuff for the channel. And we just had a meeting about something that we're about to try to get going. I can't share any more than that. But super, super exciting stuff coming down the line here, guys. When Bitcoin is boring, the Frankie Candles YouTube channel is building. But let's see who else we got in here. Shout out to Darren Does Things, says, when green juice shots again. Listen, when Mrs. Candles gets back to the studio, we could do a green juice shot right now. And we should start doing that again because I'm starting to get unhealthy again. Shout out to Darren Does Things, always keeping us healthy here on the channel. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. As always, good to see you. OG of the channel. We got Mysterious Tapestry. Oh, shout out to Mysterious Tapestry, says, is it the new Mac now? We did get a new computer for the studio. I am at the, I'm not at the office studio right now. I'm at the other studio. So we're not on the Mac right now, but we will be, any content that you guys see coming out of the office will be on a new computer. Today's premium live stream, we did have some technical difficulties, which you guys know, we're no stranger to technical difficulties here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel because Gary Gensler keeps trying to take us down. But yeah, we will be on the new computer from here on out. The technical difficulties I had this morning were the last of them because as soon as I signed off that live stream, guys, I just took the laptop and I just slowly was banging it on my table, on my desk, until it got harder and harder, and then eventually I started going, smashing it so hard that keys started flying off the thing, and then now it's in a million pieces. I'm just kidding, guys. But let's see, we got Kristen in the chat, and that is just Kristen. Says, was the green juice made of crickets? And that's why it tasted bad? No. Kristen, the juice was made out of, I don't know what it was. It was like ginger and grass, and some of them are really gross. Some of them have like cayenne pepper. They're nasty. But yeah, no, not cricket juice. I'm not that crazy. We were just eating dead crickets. Anyway, shout out to Jessica, the female CandleMafia representative. Shout out to Jessica in the chat, guys. Show Jessica some love, especially if you're a female CandleMafia member. Show some respect to the leader. Shout out to Jessica. We appreciate you. Shout out to Mike Volmer in the chat. Says, smash that like button, guys. And Mike said it, not me. We got Marcus in the chat. Greg Gonzalez says, what's up, Mafia? LFG with the XRP logos. Let's get it. Shout out to XRP Army. Creighton C shouting out Jess. Glad to be here, family. We got a Kira project in the house. Maybe Band-Aid, as always. Bro, chat is going wild, as always. Shout out to Maybe Band-Aid. Is it a bandage or maybe Band-Aid? But anyway, guys, with all that being said, like, I mentioned earlier, we got some pretty crazy price action to check out on Bitcoin, going wild and all, moving, 1% up and down for the past, what seems like 17 years. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and try to take a look at what we got going on the charts, which might not be much, but we're going to break it all down for you guys, let you know kind of what we're thinking, where we think price is going to go, and then again, those key levels to watch, not only to the downside, but also the upside. And shout out to Crypto Vol says, easy money. Those ranges are definitely easy money. So shout out to you, man. And let's go ahead and without further ado, shout out to Crypto Pollo for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Focus on the finger. There it is. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Here we go. So here we are, guys. On the Bitcoin chart here. Can you take a look at XLM? The boldest crypto. Shout out to shout out to Al Jr. That is your actual old name, right? You changed your name, but you still got the same thing. Let me know if I got that name right, guys. You guys are not just names in the chat to me. Like, you could change your name, and I see that profile picture. I remember who you are, but let me know. I think, yeah, your name used to be Al Jr., but now he's the boldest crypto. Shout out to you, man. Said, yeah, we could take a look at XLM, no problem. XRP Army, let's go. But yeah, XLM, XRP, and XTC. John Vucci in the chat. What is going on, bro? Yeah. Shout out to Metavice says, what comes first, 15K or 69K? I have no idea. Those questions are extremely hard to answer, right? Because, when it's like this price or this price, it's like a lot of times that's not the answer. Like those are really hard questions to answer. Those are basically just gambles, just like guesses. But yeah, because usually the answer is first here, there, and then 15K. But if I had to pick one or the other, 69K or 15K, I would say this. As of right now, as I think that the bottom is basically in for Bitcoin at 15K, I would have to say 69K because I don't really think it's going to 15K. But in 2 days, if we dump down to 15.4 and 15.5, and it looks like we're going lower, you got to, or we don't have to dump down that far, but like tomorrow we can get some new information on the chart that would indicate that maybe the bottom isn't in, and then you would have to change your answer. So there you go. I would say 69K for now until we get new information. So shout out, I forget who asked it. It was somebody. Who was it? I forget. It was Metavice. Shout out to Metavice. But guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts here, taking a look at Bitcoin. And as always, guys, I do want to start off with no TA. We're going to go ahead and turn off all the drawings. And then we're going to come up to the higher time frames and break down what we got going on here and kind of what we can expect coming up here in the near future. Do I have spider lines on this chart? Let's turn on the spider lines for a second. And I'm actually going, let me go ahead and I'm going to hide every... I'll just leave it. All right, so let's go ahead and hide the TA and take a look at the higher time frames, guys. Now, as you know, typically, or recently, guys, what we have been looking for on Bitcoin after we were kind of ranging around up here between about, call it about 30K and 32K, almost 31.9. We were looking for that breakdown below the sideways range before our next move to the upside. Let me get a 1 in chat if you guys were here during those boring live streams, just going sideways here when we were looking at that money flow coming out saying, hey, it's probably more likely that this breaks down before we get another big move up. And here we are. And oh my God, Crypto Pollo, how did you spam 1 that many times? That's got to be a glitch. Oh my God! Wow, we got a lot of people that have been here for a while. One with 420. Shout out to maybe Band-Aid. 1 1/3. I like that. I like that. Oh yeah, look at this. Wow, are we? Oh my God. Oh my God. No such thing as a boring Frankie Candles live stream. That's right, Mr. Blake. Let's go. Especially when you got people in chat. Too easy. Let's go. Shout out to Hamza. But guys, obviously that is kind of what we were looking for, and we did get that breakdown. But the question now remains, was this the move down, or are we going to get a bigger breakdown? And the reason we asked this question is because, again, we are sitting at some key levels of support right now, which I am going to show you in just a second why those levels are so important and why we were expecting to come down there. But we have to be open now that we have this confirmed bearish divergence on the weekly, which obviously was confirmed on Sunday as we printed and confirmed that red dot. You have your higher highs on your price action with your lower highs on your momentum waves, and that would indicate more downside, right? And the formation of this, even before it printed, was one of those puzzle pieces that was letting us know that it might be more likely to get that move to the downside before our next move up. Regardless of the bull pennant forming or the bull flag forming or, all this, the bull market started, here comes 100K, right? Regardless of all that noise on Twitter and all over the comments and the live streams and all this stuff, we knew that the money flow was coming out, and on top of that, we had some bearish signs on the weekly, and at the very least, the higher daily time frames, they just didn't look primed to come to the upside. So, and the reason I bring this up, guys, is because it's important to realize what got us to this point. Because if we don't go back and look at why we would expect something to happen, you're not going to be able to see it the next time it comes, right? So the question now lies, like I said, is as we sit at this key level of support, which again, we will look at in a second, is this the bottom, or are we going to get another leg down? And if we do get another leg down, do we lose that long-term bullish sentiment? Because as you guys know, that money flow on the weekly is still in the green. So this would indicate a long-term uptrend is likely to continue. So if we do come down another leg, where are we likely to stop, right? Where are we likely to get that support? And if we do come down, are we still bullish, or are we flipping bearish because of the weekly bear div and maybe the money flow coming back out? So I want to clear that up for you guys tonight. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Says Frankie Candles, one Mafia stream a day keeps you with good TA. Shout out to Crypto Pollo, says the Pollo, or the Bitcoin Chicken, as I like to call him. And guys, before we jump into the actual levels here, shout out to, I don't even remember the name of the barbershop. I wish I did. But guys, I think I found a barbershop in Atlanta that can actually hit us with a nice fade. I'm not going to take my hat off because my hair is absolutely crazy. But we got a nice fade here. You guys can't even tell, but you can tell that I got a haircut. They shaped up the beard pretty nicely. But yeah, if you guys watch the channel, you will know we've been struggling for a very long time trying to find a good barber down here. It's hard to replace those New York barbers. You know what I'm saying? But guys, that's what I want to talk about today. Is this a key level of support that we're going to hold? And if we do lose it, how much further can we go? And where do we start to lose our bullish sentiment? And it starts here on the weekly. Again, if this money flow crosses into the red on the weekly, that's kind of the first warning sign that we may not be continuing the uptrend. However, I am not going to put all my eggs in that basket. I am not going to be putting all my eggs in the, oh my God, the money flows in the red, we're going to zero basket, right? But we are going to keep it in mind, because the reason I won't be freaking out immediately is because you could get a fake out into the green before another push back up. You could get a fake out into the red before another push back up into the green. And you have to be ready for that. Like even like this right here, you could see we peaked in the green for a second and then we rip right back down into the red. So we have to be ready for something like that to happen. But really what I'm going to be looking at here, guys, is really just the structure and the price and the levels, right? This is what is really going to kind of keep or allow me to keep or lose my bullish sentiment. So moving on here, coming down to the 6 day, nothing really new to come out of this time frame other than money flow continuing to come out. Bearish divergence obviously confirmed. That's kind of old news. Take a look at the 5 day, same story, flat money flow. 4 day money flow is now coming out. Excuse me, that is a little bit more bearish. 3 day money flow crossing back into the red. Could be indicating a little bit more downside. Again, like we were talking about, like, are we going to hold this key level of support? Are we going to get another leg down? Some of the things that are making me think that we could get another push to the downside would be the 3 day money flow crossing into the red, as well as that 6 day money flow starting to come out. And then obviously the confirmed bearish divergence on the weekly, right? All these things could add up for a bigger move to the downside. So coming down to your 2 day, also, money flow looking pretty nasty here on the 2 day. Straight coming out here with your money flow. definitely more bearish than bullish. This would indicate the longer-term trend may continue to the downside. And by continue to the downside, guys, I do not mean, if I just flip over to this chart really quickly, clean chart, if we continue that move to the downside, not necessarily expecting a shot to zero, but remember, we do have a lot of room to come down here. We're going to come back to this chart in just a second because this is a very important chart to look at. But we are expecting, we could easily get a decent move down here without losing the long-term bullish sentiment, and then put in that higher low and continue to the upside. But in the meantime, that 2-day money flow on top of the 3-day money flow on top of the daily money flow in the red would indicate that we could potentially continue down here. So again, being cautious of that next move down, and that brings us down to the 4-hour. And this is where we can start to look at those actual key levels, and there are a few that I want to talk about specifically. Let's see. Chemistry Bro said, how long after the weekly bull div did it take for the move up to start? Maybe we can estimate this lag from weekly bear div to potential move down. Yes, we could take a look at that, Chembro. Yeah, once I go over these key levels, we will go back up there and take a look at that for sure. Because I think the weekly bull div did take some time to play out, right? It wasn't, again, oftentimes it is not an immediate move to the upside, right? So you confirmed your weekly bull div right here on, the 12th of December. This candle right here is where you confirmed it. And then you had 1, 2, 3. It almost took a full month to get that breakout and have that weekly bullish divergence play out and give us this big move up. And this is why I always tell people the longer time frames take time to play out, right? So when you see that weekly bull div, I can't tell you, I would imagine that there were a lot of people watching us talk about the weekly bull div, and they're looking at it, right, as it was printing. Luckily, everything is recorded here on YouTube, so I don't remember exactly what I was saying here. But this weekly bull div, if you watch the channel, you'll know this was a huge thing we were looking at for the bottom potentially coming in. And we were talking, oh my God, guys, it's printing, right? Like, imagine this, guys. And this is important for people to realize because if you're going to be in this space for a while, you're going to have a lot of moments where you're waiting for a big signal and then it prints, and then you're going to have to give it time to play out, right? So this is important, right? Weekly bull div was looking to print. And then we printed it, and I was probably saying, like, oh, my God, guys, this is a weekly bull div. If this confirms, it could wind up being very bullish. And there were probably a lot of people thinking to themselves, well, like, why do we have a red weekly candle then, right? Frankie Candles, why do we have a red candle then? Huh? Genius? If this is such a bullish sign, why is there a red candle? And it's like, calm down. Calm down. That's not how it works, right? Let's learn how it works, and then we'll figure it out, right? So you get a red candle, and to add insult to injury there, you print. Oh, I got to have to go through all the days here. There we go. So that one closed as a red candle, and then we got a little push to the upside, and then went like this. So we got this little fake out thinking like, oh my God, we're going up, and then it came down, and then you can imagine the people like, what happened? We confirmed the weekly bull div. This idiot said that we confirmed a weekly bull div, and now we're coming down. What a moron. But zoom out, right? You want to zoom out and let the higher time frames, give them time to play out. And then and this, we talk a lot about time frames, guys. And, it's really important to realize because there's probably a lot of people that might have, potentially, right? Like, if you're looking at this and you're not giving the higher time frames time to play out, you may have, bought in, right? You might have dropped a little money on Bitcoin down here thinking that you were going to get a big pump. And then it starts to turn around. And when you look at something like the 4-hour, right? Like, this looks like a pretty nasty dump. And you might be like, oh my God, we're going back to lower lows. And a lot of people probably panic sold this, right? You even have money flow coming out on the 4-hour. Like, a lot of people probably panic selling this, even if they bought down here, right? And when you zoom out to the weekly time frame, this is why it's so important to understand time frames and zoom out and look at the high time frames for what they are. You're not worried. Like, when you zoom out, that big dump on the 4-hour is just a tiny little blip on the radar on the weekly. And this is really what you're looking at to gauge, what's going to happen on the higher time frames, right? So everything else on the lower time frames is noise. For a weekly bull div, a dump like this on the 2-hour is negligible. Like, this is not a big deal when you're looking at a weekly bull div. A lot of people would think to themselves, and I just remember because I did get comments of people being like, what happened? I talked about this earlier in the premium Discord. is same thing with the weekly blood diamond, right? Like we talked about the weekly blood diamond that was printing here when it actually happened, talking about how it was a mega bearish signal and it could dump us into the bear market. And a lot of people, you know, like because, I mean, we kind of insta-dumped from there. But when you zoom in on the lower time frames, there were pumps and dumps within this 1 week candle. And you see a little pump or a little dump on a low time frame like the 2 hour, right? Like this dump on the 2 hour. And people are looking at this thinking, oh, well, what happened to the weekly bull div, huh? And it's important to realize that even this massive dump does not invalidate something like a weekly bull dip, right? So, and then obviously, you know, it sometimes takes a lot of time to play out, right? And then you even came down a little bit more before you pumped up a little bit here. You even came down a little bit more. And then you could imagine people are really freaking out at that point, like, oh my God, like, they're like right here. Like people are like, that's it. It's a downtrend. It's all over. Come to the 2 hour. And you're just like, this isn't good. This is a bear flag or whatever. This is all just noise. When you look at the weekly time frame, like this is, and look, what happened? If you let the TA, trust your TA and let it do its thing, you hit play, and obviously the weekly bull div wound up doing massive business. I don't know. It wound up absolutely ripping Bitcoin to the upside, right? And this is the importance of separating your time frames, guys, and understanding the difference between the weekly and how the weekly behaves and how you should be looking at a bullish signal on the weekly like a divergence, right? So you had almost a whole month. Thank you for saying this, Chemistry Bro, because this is very, very important. Weekly bull div confirms, and you wind up dumping on the lower time frames. And a lot of people would have gotten scared here. But you trust your TA. If you're making buys or decisions based off the weekly, you're looking to hold that trade, whether it's a leverage trade or a spot trade, right? You're just buying and holding Bitcoin. You're looking to hold that for a longer period of time anyway, because a bullish divergence on the weekly, we now know, at least in this case, could take up to a month to start playing out. And sometimes it could take even more, right? So just keep that in mind. Thank you for pointing that out, Chemistry Bro. It's very important for people to understand. But let's come back down and take a look at some of these levels that we got. That was kind of a little weird side rant, but please, for the love of God, understand the time frames, guys, because this is going to help you infinitely, not only while looking at the charts, but it will help you cancel out a lot of the noise that comes from the crypto community. And I think that there's a lot of noise that goes on in the crypto community that just winds up hurting most people, because you get, like, I'll be honest, like, I think people should learn how to control their crypto content intake, right? Because that's why I always say, like, find your strategy, find the people you like to listen to, and overall, you should listen to yourself, right? Like, if you watch my show to learn, that's amazing, right? As long as you trust the creator that you're watching, I think it's good, especially if it's educational, like a lot of our stuff and a lot of other channels that are out there. I'm not pretending we're the only ones, but you know, if you find the person you trust and the person that you like to learn from, you know, obviously you're going to take their thoughts into consideration, but at the end of the day, you have to make your financial decisions yourself, because we're not financial advisors. Obviously, that's a meme, not a financial advisor, not financial advice, do your own research, but I would also recommend, like, imagine this, you're watching me, and then you watch 5 other YouTubers, and then you're on crypto Twitter all night, right? Like, I know how we are. Like, I'm like this too, guys. I'm a crypto degen, right? Like, then you're on Twitter, and then you're watching this video, and then you're watching this video, and then you're back on crypto Twitter, and you're going to get inundated with so many ideas and strategies and hypothesize, and you're gonna get not overstimulated, but you're gonna get flooded with all these different points of views and all these, I'm bearish, I'm bullish, I'm bearish, I'm bullish, and you're gonna wind up not being able to make a clear decision. So I would even say, like, control your crypto intake, right? Like, control the amount of content you consume. And this is coming from a YouTuber, guys. Like, if you're watching my video, 10 other videos, and then sitting on crypto Twitter all night, you're going to hear bullish, bearish, we're dumping, and we're going to the moon 75 times. And for me, you know, I started getting much clearer visions on the market, or views of the market, when I kind of honed in on my own stuff, right? And I'm not saying, obviously, you want to watch and you want to learn. Totally fine. I'm not saying don't watch content, obviously. But, you know, just to make sure you're not overloading yourself with information, because as I say, just like on a chart, if you're looking at a chart and you have levels like this, and sometimes our chart can get like this because sometimes the nature of the market will make your levels super crowded, right? But if your chart looks like this, right? And then you got this indicator and this indicator and this indicator and this indicator, and, like, this isn't even that bad. Like, some people's charts are even more crowded than this, and if that works for you, that's totally fine. But in my opinion, a chart like this is too much information. Is this thing going up or down? I can't even tell you. So It's the same thing with the content. You want to not over, too much information can be bad information, and that's where I'll leave that. And that's kind of what can help you avoid missing things like the weekly bull div. Because, again, you might have looked at that weekly bull div and been like, oh, wow, that is pretty saucy. And then these little dumps, crypto Twitter is probably going crazy at these times, right? Like, oh, my God, we're going to zero, lower lows incoming, right? And it would have spooked you out of this position. But if you just listen to the TA and the fact that the weekly takes time to play out, it could take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks for this to play out. So very, very important little tidbit there. Please take that to the bank, guys. Noise soup, Brent. Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely noise soup. And you don't want to do that. Keep it simple. And listen, sometimes you're going to be right, and the other people are going to be, sometimes you're going to be wrong, and the other people are going to be right. But that doesn't mean that you have to listen to every single thing you hear, and it's just going to cloud your judgment, at least in my experience. I can't tell you guys what's right for you. I can only tell you what helped me in my experience. So that's just kind of what I'm sharing here. So here we go. And especially when you have people like speaking with super, speaking with such certainty, right? Like, lower lows are definitely incoming, you idiots. And it's like, no, don't say that. That's like not how it works. So just take that for what it's worth. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these levels because there are some pretty interesting levels here, right? So what has gone on with Bitcoin since the last live stream, guys? Well, let's see where we were on the last live stream. Let's see. Friday, that's Thursday. Friday, 12 a.m. Let's see, that's the 4 hours. So yeah, Friday at about, let's see. Yeah. So here we are. We were like right over here on the last live stream. And now what happened? We came up, we tested the value area high, came to the value area low, back to the value area high, and then back to the value area low. We are simply just respecting this sideways range, guys, which is obviously kind of how I've been treating the market ever since, right? Ever since, we've been in this range. Like, you're just treating this as a little local volume profile. As you guys know, I was in a long position from about right here, and we were riding that up long at the bottom of the range. And then we wound up getting into profit. I took some profits up here, and then I moved my stop loss to my entry, which is typically early for me, I will say. I did not... I typically wait. I really, my first take profit, guys, was going to be coming up here closer to 29.7. But what happened was we came up here. Things didn't look amazing, so I took a little profit, moved my stop loss to my entry in anticipation of potentially coming back down here to these next key levels, which we will wind up going back, and I will talk about these levels as well. However, I did move my stop loss to my entry prematurely, at least prematurely to what I usually do. And what happened, guys? They stopped me out in profit. So I made a little bit of money, but it was a very negligible amount of money. I consider it basically break even, but I made a few bucks technically. But it's no skin off my back, right? Because I know there's a million other opportunities. So we got a little, I don't know, I think we made like 30 bucks or something. But like I said, basically break even. But now the market looks a little bit different, guys. And let's talk about the case of potentially getting another move to the downside, right? So if we get another move down here, let's go ahead and here's the thing, right? Daily money flow in the red. This is indicating some potential more downside, right? Especially if we wind up having this VWAP in the next hour and 45 minutes curve all the way down here and print a red dot. This is likely going to give us another leg down, right? If we get that print and if that money flow does not continue to come to the upside. Now, if on top of that, right, money flow on your 16-hour is now crossing into the red. We also have a fresh red dot on the 16-hour. I'm going to turn on Market Cipher A because we have gotten some interesting blood diamonds printing here. But red dot printing on the 16-hour with money flow coming out, again, indicating the downtrend may continue. Coming on over to your 12-hour. VWAP crossing, looking to come back down towards that zero line. Money flow kind of flat, not really much to take away from this time frame. But then coming on down to your 10-hour, money flow continuing down, red dot printing. 8-hour, red dot also printing. Money flow also kind of coming out there. And then your 6-hour blood diamond is confirmed here, and your 5-hour confirmed this fresh blood diamond not too long ago. And then your 4-hour also has a confirmed blood diamond. So these could be potentially indicating, guys, or foreshadowing a bigger move to the downside. So if this were to play out, as you guys know, kind of how I've been handling this market is that other than the long position I was in from back here, which obviously I just said I got stopped out of, other than that long position, I am not really interested in a decent Bitcoin trade until we either come down to this next level of support or if we come up to our next level of resistance. So I would obviously be looking for shorts up here and longs down here. But now I remain in no trade, and I am still not necessarily interested in a big Bitcoin trade until we come down either to these lower levels or back up to retest some of these lows. And by retest these lows, I mean like bearishly retest the lows, right? Not retest lows like you would retest lows down here. If I were to take a trade on Bitcoin locally, it would just be a simple scalp position within this kind of micro range that we have forming here. So that's kind of how I'm not saying I wouldn't get into a trade at all unless we came down here or back up to our other levels, which I will look at in a second. But other than those, I would really just be looking to scalp this range. But with the stuff that we just went over, guys, it is possible to get a little bit of a breakdown here, especially with the blood diamonds printing. And if we do get that move down, my plan, well, it remains essentially exactly the same as it did Friday. Because, again, we were here Friday, and now we're here today. We are simply just in the same range. So if we do get that move down, guys, I will still be looking at the same levels. And those levels are going to be, number one, the top of this blue box at about 28.8K. Which we basically front ran this level slightly. We front ran this level slightly. But the reason this is a key level, guys, is because 28.8K is a previous value area low. And on top of that, it is also our previous value area high of our old range, right? Again, like we've looked at this for quite some time. We have our old range from back here. Boom, 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 right? This is our old range. Our value area high sitting right up here at about 28.8K. And we know that if we lose that level decisively, we may not be able to get back above it. And if that happens, we could be on our way back down to the POC of that range, which comes very, very close to $28,000. And I'm going to show you guys this on a cleaner chart that'll be a little bit, not easier to understand, but just a little bit simpler to look at. So if we do get that move down, guys, I will be looking for longs, again, between this value area low at 28.8K / value area high at 28.8K. And then also we have another value area low down here at about 28.6. And that does come from May of 2022 from back here. You guys know a lot of these levels did come from this range from back in May. And they've been respected beautifully. You can see we reject the value area high, and we are now on our way potentially to visit the value area low. Shout out to Creighton C says, respect the TA right now. With Frankie Candles, if you read this, you're watching him, smash that like button and throw up the LFG for our boy. Shout out to Creighton C. And I see the LFGs in chat, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, guys. My ex is in the chat. My ex is in the chat, guys. Shout out to my ex in chat. It says, I'm late. Dang it. At least I wasn't as late as Frankie. Okay. At least I wasn't. Yeah. Whoa. Hey. Listen, Kelly. That's the name of my ex. Kelly, you can't be the current Mrs. Candles is in here, Kelly. You can't be like trying to see this. Your exes will come up in here and try to ruin what you got going on, guys. Shout out to my ex. I'm just kidding, guys. Imagine that is actually like one of my exes that just came in and made like a funny name. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, shout out, hey, everybody with the LFGs in chat. Shout out to you guys. I see you in here. Shout out to G Life in the chat. What is going on? Caspa short too soon. Shout out to Jules. We're going to be checking out on 2 shorts that we were looking at on last week's live stream, guys. And Frankie's exes live in Texas. But we could break the new shout out to Frankie's ex. You're funny. I wish I knew who that was. It's got to be Dave Digital, right? I don't know. Shout out to you, man. Whoever you are out there. Maybe you are my ex. But anyway, continuing on here. Yeah, we're going to take a look at 2 shorts that we were looking at on the live stream last week, guys. One was a chain link short and one was a Caspa short. We're going to check in on both of them. One of them slapped. Like, almost perfectly. Like, I think it was, maybe it was on Thursday we were looking at it, and we were just like, I'm going to throw this freebie in here for you guys. It's 50K subscribers. We got the big giveaway going, and we'll go over it because it absolutely spanked. It did, like, literally exactly what we wanted it to do. Crypto DGen, Frankie's the sauce boss, for real, for real. Shout out to Crypto DGen. I appreciate you. But, yeah, guys, that's what we're looking at. And, again, I will be looking for longs at both of these levels. The value area high, the previous value area high, as well as the previous value area low at 28.6. Is that 28.650? But I would also look all the way down to about 28.6. But that's where the first place I would be interested in taking a long if I get the long confirmations that I was looking for. Let me try to delete. No, okay, doesn't want me to. I'm gonna have to delete that over here. So that would be the first place I would be interested in taking along. And then other than that, guys, again, I would not really be interested in taking along until we wound up coming all the way back down within this blue box. And this blue box is interesting for more reasons than one. Number one, we have a nice golden pocket within this level. Now, this golden pocket is pulled from this start of this kind of impulse from here all the way to the high at about $31,817, give or take a few bucks. But this is a very nice golden pocket to potentially come down and put in that higher low that we've been talking about before continuing back up to new highs. If we are going to get this uptrend to continue, obviously assuming that our money flow on the weekly continues to into the green, right? But that would be the first place that I would really be, the second place I'd be interested in taking along, because although this would be pretty painful to see us a move down, even potentially as low as the point of control. And we're going to talk about why we would expect that point of control to get tapped. And it has a lot to do with the value areas, right? So this next blue box between about, I would say between about 28.4 and 27.930 or 28K even almost would be the next place after our value area low that I would be looking at along. And that's kind of the next key level, right? And then maybe we wick down potentially to this golden pocket, not golden pocket, to this spider line pocket getting closer to about 27.6. This would be another level to watch as well, but we're kind of far away from that. But those are the two major levels. I mean, nothing really has changed. Those have been the basically two big levels that we've been looking at for longs if we get that next leg down. And if I will say this, guys, if we come down to this value area low and we get a long or a bounce, just a bounce in general off this low, right, and we wind up coming back up to this value area high back up in the 31s, I might actually get the volume profile tattooed on me because simply we lost the value area high, bearishly retested, came down to the POC, stuck to the POC as expected, bearishly retested the POC as expected, and then got to move down to the first value area low, and then this would just be another touch on the second value area low. And then what happens when you hold support on the value area low, guys? Chances are you're going to get a move back up to your POC and then potentially a move up to your value area high. But obviously, we have to hold that level. We have to get the bullish confirmations. I don't want it to come off like we are guaranteed to hold this level. I'm just saying if we do get a bounce, in hindsight, this value area would simply just still be in play. And this would have been just a big volume profile play. So there you go. Now, with that being said, guys, I do want to, J-Rod says weekly money flow still looks promising. Absolutely, it is still in the green. But now let's talk about, guys, what happens if we get a bigger move down? And this is, shout out to J-Rod, this is going to kind of explain why I wouldn't be putting all my eggs in the weekly money flow basket if we do go into the red, because it may be a fake out. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to kind of differentiate if we are going to Jonathan Schaefer, Frankie's ex-mom dead. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. But this is going to kind of go into what I'm going to be looking at, guys, to try to not get tricked by that weekly money flow if it is indeed going to pull one of these where you fake into the green. Where is it? It never faked into the green on the Heikenashis. Oh, no. Hold up. Yeah, this is in 2019. Okay, so on the Heikenashis, we never faked into the green, but we have to be ready for a situation like this, where you fake into the green and then come back into the red before going back into the green, right? On regular candles, we actually did fake into the green right here. I'll show you. Right there, boom, faked into the green slightly. So we have to be ready for that to potentially to happen again. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you for being here, bro. Shout out to you, man. On point, bro. Shout out to Rob. But, if we are going to get that little fake out into the red before coming back into the green, I'm going to talk to you about how I'm going to try to figure out if this is going to be a fake out, if indeed we get that crossover. And it has everything to do with the key levels, guys. So I want to pull up this clean chart right here, this fresh chart, and I want to take a look at this with you guys. Let's come on to the daily chart, zoom out, and take a look here. Now, if we simplify things and we simply look at all of our price action all the way back from Friday the 17th of March, all the way to our current price action, if we pull our volume and we look at this as a potential sideways range, this all makes a lot of sense, right? Because what happened here was we slipped our value area low, got back up, flipped it to support, and we got a shot right up to the high. And then we stayed above the high, and we tried to hold support up here, but then we just wound up breaking back below the macro value area high, and now we are currently stuck underneath this. So where would we expect price to go if we weren't looking at any of the other levels we were just looking at? Where would we be expecting price to go? Well, you could argue that we may make a move for the POC. Now, is this an interesting level? Well, it is an interesting level, right? Because not only are we expecting that level to potentially come in if we can't get back above this value area high, if you can't get back above this level, and even if we get a move back up here and bearishly retest, if we can't get back above, you have to expect that we may get a move back down to this POC, which is coming in eerily close to $28,000 even. Now, why is that interesting? Well, if we come back over to our other chart, come back up to a lower time frame, and we zoom out here, you can see that our second blue box, or the bottom of that blue box, is very close to 28K even, right? Same thing as this previous point of control we were just looking at. So not only do you have the point of control here of our previous range from, again, Friday the 17th to about Saturday the 3rd of June, when you actually extrapolate that volume profile, instead of looking at the volume profile of the previous range, which again, would be, something like this, which let me go ahead and unextend this, right? Your POC is right in that same area, but when you pull your current range, your POC is right on that 28K level, right? Very, very close to that golden pocket that we pulled, right? Let's pull the golden pocket. Well, hey, that golden pocket is very close to that POC. This is kind of where I got that level from, right? You can kind of figure that out, right? So this is kind of where I got this level from. But there's also some very interesting stuff within this level, guys. Not only is it a golden pocket POC retrace, but I know a lot of people, we were talking about this in the premium Discord earlier, I know a lot of people are looking at this long-term kind of trend line, right, on all of these higher lows, creating a trend line, and a lot of people think that we may come back to visit that trend line. And funny enough, try to get rid of this drawing here. Come on. I guess I'll delete it from the object tree. Funny enough, guys, if we do wind up coming down, let's grab our brush, and we do maybe come up, retest that value area high, and come back down to that golden pocket, well, hey, that is almost in perfect confluence with that golden pocket and POC, right? So you do have a decent bit of confluence here if you do get that move down to potentially get a big bounce off this level and then get above that value area high and continue up to higher prices or higher yearly prices, right? So you do have a decent bit of confluence at this level. And again, this is between about, 28.5. I would even say maybe 28.6, right? Like that's pretty close to that second blue box that we have down here. Again, or right here, the bottom of this first blue box at about 28.650. Right? So whether you want to look at this as some kind of giant, big zone of support, or if you want to separate it into two smaller areas, that's completely up to you. But again, like these are kind of all the levels that I'm looking at. But when you simplify it by just looking at one big volume profile, it's a little bit easier to digest. So there you go. That's kind of where I'm looking at for our next move to the downside if we do wind up getting it, which again, with the way money flow looks and some of these blood diamonds, we have to be ready for that potential move up. But I do just want to point out here, guys, 2-day VWAP is coming up. So if we are going to get another bounce to the upside, I would look at that 2-day green dot to kind of be the signal to start that bigger move to the upside. So that's kind of the key levels to the downside I'm looking at. And not only that, guys, but why I'm looking at those levels. Why I'm looking at this level as a level of big support. It's not just the golden pocket. It's not just the POC. It's not just the trend line. It's also the spider line. I'm just kidding. We don't have a spider line running through here. At least I don't think. I don't have spider lines on this Bybit chart simply because it does not go further enough in time for me to draw them. But who knows? Well, let's see. Let's find out. Between 28.4, we'll say about between 28.4 and 28K even. Let's see if we have any spider lines there. Not 28K even, depending on when you get there. You do have a spider line right here at the bottom of the blue box, but it would have to take some time to get down there. Let's go ahead and check the non-log. Nothing on non-log. Not too many spider lines to actually hold us up at that point, but plenty of other confluences there. So those are the levels we're looking at to the downside, guys. Now the levels to the upside before we jump into the altcoins are going to remain the same. Right? It basically remains exactly the same. Let me see if... Okay, let's go ahead and... so these are, again, the same levels we were looking at last week. And those levels are essentially, if we get a move up, I will be looking for resistance. Let me go ahead and pull this to the current times. This is kind of what I would be looking for, guys. I'll actually move this up slightly. If we do get a move up, there's one major level I will be looking at, and it is going to be this value area low between about $29,898, and the value area low is actually sitting at about $29,773. And this is not just the value area low. We have our value area low of our current range. Technically, if you're still looking at this range, right, pulled to our current price action, you have your value area low living right there. Now, a lot of times, before you break down further, price does sometimes like to go up and test that previous area that you found balance in, which is right up here. You had balance, 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 and then you had imbalance. So before we continue the downtrend, sometimes price does like to go up and test that value area low before coming down to lower prices. So this is going to be area number one that I will be looking for strong resistance. And on top of that, I do believe we have a nice local golden pocket within this level as well. And it is pulled from the current impulse right here to the downside all the way to the low. You can see you have beautiful confluence with that golden pocket. I would actually argue it depends on what you're looking at, mainly this level is important because of the value area low golden pocket confluence, right? So you could technically move this purple box like this, and then just look for your resistance there. And then obviously you would want to keep an eye on your 786 at about $30,025 as well. But on top of that, you also have some more levels in here that kind of makes it somewhat decent place to look for a rejection, right? And if we grab our volume profile one more time, fixed range, and we look at the most recent range that we were looking at, which is this little scalp range within right here before we got the breakdown, if you pull that, your value area low lines up right with that level as well. So many reasons to reject this level. So if we come up here, it's probably going to be strong resistance. I will be looking for shorts in this area. And if we wind up getting back above this value area low and we start holding it as support, I will be looking for a move closer to that point of control, which we have another, I'm not going to pull it right now, but we do have another strong golden pocket within this level in confluence with our point of control. And that would be a decent place to put in a lower high, right? Remember, the money flow on those higher time frames is coming out, indicating the trend may continue down. So even if we get a move up into this golden pocket, I will be looking for a bigger, more swing type short off that level to potentially put in a lower high on the higher time frames to continue the downtrend to new lows, right? And by new lows, I just mean lower than our previous low, not all-time lows. And then again, where are we looking? We just went over all those levels just now. And not only the levels, but the context into what makes these levels so strong, or what could make them so strong, right? So there we go. Shout out to Hodl Crypto said, smash that like button, guys. If we get 550 likes on tonight's stream, I will spin that wheel 20 times to start this week's giveaway off strong. I think we gave away, I don't even remember. We should put a dollar amount on. I wonder how much money we've given away since we started the channel. It's probably a pretty crazy number for us, right? Probably nothing compared to like a bigger channel like BitBoy Crypto. But I feel like we've been doing giveaways once a week for over a year, like a year and a half. So we must be up there with the giveaway. So 550 likes, we'll spin it three times. We'll spin it 20 times. And like is pressed. Shout out to Jessica. We appreciate it. Jessica out here pushing the likes. Let's go. Let's see. And shout out to Chemistry Bro. Bing bong. Smash that like button. Bing bong. Here we go. Should we throw some money, guys? It's Monday. It's boring. Maybe if we use the Bing bong cannon. The Bing bong cannon, the bagel blaster. Some people just call it the feta cannon or the feta flinger. I call it the feta flinger. Maybe we just spray some money around. Maybe we can get Bitcoin to start moving. Let's go. Bing bong. Bitcoin move. Wake up from your nap. Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. That's it for now, guys. I spent all weekend cleaning up confetti off the studio floor. If you guys tuned in on Friday's live stream, you will know that Mrs. Candles almost killed me with a heart attack by shooting an explosive confetti cannon all over me. And I almost passed out live on stream. Let's see. Okay. So there you go, guys. That is basically what we're looking at on Bitcoin. And yes, I know, really nothing new. But we'll have to see if we're going to get that breakdown or that break up. But again, even these lower time frames, money flow is coming out. So even if we get a short-term move to the upside, I would potentially be looking at these as opportunities to go short to catch that trend to the downside. Money flow on the 2-hour crossing into the red. Money flow on the 3-hour about to cross over into the red. And plus all the blood diamonds, right? So definitely just kind of bing bong central here, waiting for either a breakdown to this level or a break up to this level or this level. Other than that, guys, I am essentially sitting on my dang hands. Look at Sharp today, Frankie. Shout out to Crip BC. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. And I got a haircut. I got a haircut. I did it. And it was actually a good one. Shout out to the barbershop I went to. I don't even remember the name of it. Barber texted me though. And hear this, guys. I got the haircut yesterday, and Tony D told me this morning that our barber is flying in from New York because we literally the haircuts are. I love Atlanta, guys, but I have to say the haircuts are worse than mediocre. And they also take a really long time. Hey, shout out to Javit the barber. Javit, we got to get you down here, bro. I want you to come cut our hair. But yeah, we got our New York barber to fly into Atlanta to cut our hair because it's just rough out here where we are in Georgia. We're not in the city of Atlanta necessarily. I'm sure the barbers are probably fire in there, but yeah, first good haircut he's had since he moved there. Shout out to V-Slim. It's been a year, and it's been over a year, and it's been like 2 years. Over 2 years I've lived here. But yeah, shout out to Javit. We got to get you out here, bro. Give us a nice little fade. But I will say this guy did pretty good. This is going to be my go-to. One day, bro. Gotcha. Shout out to Javit the barber. That would be some sick content, too. Like, we pull out a Mafia member to come cut hair, and then you chop it up fire. Like, let's go. Make videos. That'd be sick. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead. Crypto Pollo said, can we consider all this sideways action as a wind-up for something? Charts are saying winding down. Yeah, I mean, listen. This is, again, with money flow coming up, you have to understand, right? We got over a 100% pump from the bottom. That is going to warrant some kind of a cool-off like this, right? Like this one that we got. This is a significant cool-off. And so was this, right? Healthy move up, fake out to the downside, second higher high, actual cool-off, right to that spider line. Another massive move up, and then a healthy pullback. Massive move up. You could call that a healthy move. I think you could have a little bit more room to go. But before we move to the altcoins, guys, I almost forgot. This brings me to the line in the sand where I start to assume that we are going to come lower for Bitcoin, and this uptrend may not continue in the long term. And this is what I will be looking at. If we come down and we are accepted into this range, right? Now, remember this. Remember all the times we look at these volume profiles and we see, hey, remember, guys, we were talking about this, and it played out once again. This could be one of those times. And if we cannot get above this value area high, we are expecting a move down to the POC, right? And then if that winds up happening, maybe it won't. No guarantees. But if it does, I'll say, hey, guys, look at this. I'm getting the volume profile touted on me. Look, this thing wins almost every single time. But if we do get a move below our POC, and let's go ahead and assume that the 786 can't hold us, and we get a bigger move down. Maybe we get some negative news, right? Maybe the XRP lawsuit isn't over, and like it's going to wind up being super bearish, right? Whatever the catalyst is, right? If we get that move down to these levels, I would even maintain my bullish sentiment if we came down to the value area low. And why are we looking down to this level? It is simply Shout out to Captain Kirk. It is simply because we are just looking at the volume profile. And once you lose the POC, you're looking to come down to the value area low. And if we get down here, guys, I will indeed be looking for longs. Because as long, no pun intended, as we don't break below this value area low decisively and make a lower low here, and by lower low, I mean like higher time frame candles. I'm looking for at least 4-hour candle closes, multiple 4-hour candle closes. More ideally, we want to see daily candle closes below these lows to indicate that we are no longer bullish in the long term, and it is more likely that the uptrend will not continue to the upside. And by the uptrend, I mean macro uptrend, this uptrend, right? If we come down here, we could bounce. If we come down here, we could bounce, right? Because technically this would be a higher low. And that could be where you get the big blast off to the upside, right? So it's just like this, right? It's just like back here. You have a low and a high, a higher low and a higher high. And sure, when you came down here, you broke this previous low and put in a lower low. But it is still a higher low from back here. So the macro trend was still intact. So it's a very, very similar situation. So if we are indeed right now getting accepted back into this range, we will simply be looking down to the POC like we just discussed. And if we get below there to the value area low, I will still be looking for longs. And it's not until we start closing weekly candles, not weekly, well, weekly too, but 4-hour and even daily candles below this level. That is where I am saying at this point, it's probably likely that the weekly money flow is back in the red. And if we can't get back above this value area low and that money flow is in the red, that's a pretty nasty look to get a bigger move to the downside. Now, the reason why I'm not putting all my eggs in the weekly money flow basket, like I just said, is because if we get all the way down to the value area low of this range, guys, which I'm not guaranteeing, but if we get that move, weekly money flow at this point might be in the red, but we haven't broken the key levels yet, right? So if we come down here and money flow is in the red, we could still potentially see a deviation or either a bounce off the value area low to come back up to the high, or we could even see a slight deviation below the range before getting back up and getting a move back to higher prices, right? So again, really what I'll be looking for is decisively losing these critical lows rather than just seeing the money flow crossover and being like, that's it, I'm bearish. Because again, if it's going to be a fake out, you might fake out into the red as you're playing around down here. And then as you get a massive bounce, that's where your money flow might creep back up into the green. And that's where the fake out might occur. Shout out to Clinton Query. Thank you for that super chat. I do appreciate you, bro. He says, looks like a mini Head and Shoulders. It would take us to support. Let's see. Oh, God. Yeah. Looks like a mini Head and Shoulders. Shout out to Clinton Query. I appreciate you, bro. I don't know what Head and Shoulders you're looking at. I am not saying it is not there. I just, maybe you're talking about in here. Let me try to find it for you. Do not super chat, please. You don't have to super chat again and tell me exactly where it is. If you do that, please just send a regular chat. You don't have to super chat it. Let's see. Yeah, I not 100% sure what Head and Shoulders, but Clinton, I trust you. I trust you. But I wonder if I would like to find it because I would like to see. Do you mean this support? Is this the support you're talking about? Potentially. Oh, no, the bat phone is ringing. Shout out to J-Rod. He must have said, check this out. Oh, yeah, got a feeling 20K is def in the cards, guys. Measured move of the bear pennant is exactly 20K. Wow. And then J-Rod said, wait, I'm looking at Gala. That's funny. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't done that before, bro. Shout out to J-Rod. Oh, no, hang on a second. Oh, shout out to Rob. Started his new job today. Rob, show yourself. How was your first day at work? Guys, we have to pause the TA. Rob, let me know how your first day at work was. I hope it was good. I mean, listen. I'm not going to act like I'm like a little jealous that we have to share you now. But obviously, we're super happy for you. Oh, he's starting his new job. Wait, is he? No way is he. Rob, if you were at your new job right now and you're in chat, I ban you. Okay, tomorrow. Shout out to Rob. Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Okay. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Good luck on your first day tomorrow. Call me if you have any if you need any help. I don't care what it is. Like if you need to figure something out. I probably don't know anything about what you do. But I'm a brain, right? Like if you want to just not throw some ideas off me, hit me up. I'm happy to help in any way I can. I'm kidding. Oh, I'm not really kidding. If you really need help, hit me up. I just want to try to give back to you, bro. If there's any way I can help you, please let me know. I'm super happy that you got this new job, bro. I know it's one that you wanted, or at least that's what it sounds like. So congrats, and don't worry about us, bro. You're a made man. I said this before. If you have to miss streams, don't worry about it. Obviously, your work and your job is very important, and you're made man. You're here forever, bro. You can help by calling in the altcoin votes and show ETH. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Also, Rob, if you're I don't know what time it is by you, but don't stay up late tonight, my friend, if you don't have to. But yeah, so if you guys want to see your altcoins, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin for the most part. Yes, go ahead and spam your altcoins. Let Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know which ones we're looking at. But we're going to start off with Ethereum, guys. And Rob, you don't have to put thank you, Thesis. Thesis says he does not see a Head and Shoulders anywhere. Yes, shout out to Thesis. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, Rob, yeah, throw the altcoin votes in, and yeah, let's see what you guys want to look at. But you don't have to add Hex, Curve, Caspa, Chainlink. Those are all ones that I'm just going to look at anyway. So you don't have to take a look at them. The like let me smash, so I smashed. Shout out to Dave Digital. I'm not going to finish it. Shout out to Dave Digital. But guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum and what we got going on here. So let's see if we can remember what we were looking at last week. What were we looking for? Maybe this arrow had something to do with it, these squiggly lines. Maybe we were looking for a move up to the 786 golden pocket potentially. Let's just go ahead and do the TA here. I don't know. I never know. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we probably expect. Maybe we thought price was going to come up to that golden pocket. We could not break above our current resistance. Yeah, that is what we were looking for, right? We were potentially looking for a move up here, back up to our value area high golden pocket 786 area for a rejection back down. But obviously nothing happened over the weekend, and we just continued just moving sideways. So there you go. Not really too much of an update on Ethereum, if I'm being honest. Taking a look at the daily. Yeah, red dot printing on the daily. I mean, your key support is obviously going to be the value area low. We also have the golden pocket here. Low end of this range is at about 1830. That is going to be a very, very key level to watch. And then I will actually just go ahead and pull the bigger range here just to get a little bit more of an idea of, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, value. Yeah, I mean, I won't even, yeah. I think that's where this level came from, I believe. So I'm going to actually move this. That's the 786. This is your macro value area low. So I would actually look for some support. Go ahead and turn this blue. I would actually, yeah, I would look for some support if you break down below this range, guys. We have two value areas here, right? Or two value areas that I'm looking at. You have a million value areas in general. But I am looking at this value area as well as this value area. So we're looking at a range in a range here. We are looking for this range until we break this value area low or this value area high. We are expecting this range to be respected from the low to the high, to the low, to the high. Hopefully, this is not what we wind up getting. Hopefully, we can get a bigger move below the range. And if we break below the value area low and cannot get back above it, I will look for a move down to our macro value area low coming in at 1760. 786 is coming in at 1780, going to be another big level to watch. That's why this is a box, not just a line. But other than that, guys, if this daily red dot is unable to break you below this level and give you a move back down to the low of the macro range, I would simply be looking for price to bounce off of either the value area low or this golden pocket before coming back up to your local range high. So again, not really much to update here on Ethereum. We could potentially look for the same thing we were looking for on Friday. A bounce off the value area low above the POC into our next rejection level for a potential short back down to the bottom of the range. So yeah, not, hey, there we go. All coins are in and being counted. Stop the spam. Rob the Crypto Snob has dropped the hammer on the spam. Just stop the spam. Anyway, let's see. I have to be at work in 8.5 hours, so still on schedule. Shout out to Rob. Please do not stay up late for us if you have your work in the morning. Please. We want you to do good. Hey, shout out to QWERTY and all the keyboards out there. If you get the joke, you get the joke. If you don't, then you must not be a nerd. Shout out to QWERTY. Thank you for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to Hazara. I'm just gonna call you Hazara because I don't want to butcher that first name. Shout out to you, man. Welcome to the Mafia. We got John Lopez joining the crew. Lynn. Shout out to Flapping at Charts. I'm just going to call you Flapping at Charts. Shout out to you. Welcome to the family. And Chris Douglas, welcome to the Mafia, my friend. There you go. But let's go ahead and continue on here. But that's really what I'd be looking at on Ethereum, guys. Just nothing has happened. Potentially, I will say this. If we get a move deeper into this blue box to test this golden pocket again, I would look. If you do get one thing I would be looking for here is a potential 4-hour bullish divergence. If you make a lower low in your price action here into that golden pocket with your higher low here, bullish divergence on your 4-hour, if your money flow starts coming up, that might be a decent place to get a bigger bounce, right? That could potentially finally either bring you back up to the highs of the POC of our bigger range right here, or even get us above that POC into the value area high, which would be, again, the next levels that I would be looking for rejections to the downside. So that's basically what I'd be looking at on ETH. Nothing has really changed for the most part. So there you go. Shout out to Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. Let's see. Ben, shout out to Ben, says 2 and 4 hour, we're showing a drop below 29. 29-1 bullish divergence failure. Yes. Yes. Yeah, please keep that in mind. Your bullish divergences are not going to play out all the time. And I will say this, if you want to try to avoid getting into bad trades here, one thing that I really like to do here is very oftentimes, right, a bullish divergence is almost always going to give you something. Now, whether that is a move to the upside of $1 or $1,000 is another thing. But very often, like you could find a bullish divergence, like even the ones that don't really play out well do give you some kind of a move to the upside, right? Or even like a bearish divergence. Like even if it doesn't give you a big move, it will likely give you some kind of a move. Now, kind of how I stay out of, kind of how I gauge if they're going to play out is by looking at money flow, right? Like right now, if we confirmed a bullish divergence that I just talked about, like if we come back down into this blue box, put the lower lows in on our price, and then you get a higher low in your momentum waves, and you get this bullish divergence. If money flow is continuing to come out here, I am not looking to hold this bullish divergence for a long time. Sometimes I'll even skip out on the trade, right? I might not even take the trade. But typically, when you get the big moves, when the divergences give you the big moves, like this is the sauce, guys. Like, look at this, for example. This is a perfect example. Higher highs on your price action, right? On top of that, you have your lower highs on your momentum waves. Obviously, you need that for it to be a divergence. So there you go. There's your bearish divergence. But why did this give you such a decent move down? And, well, number one confluence here is that you're above your value area. Essentially, you're overbought, right? You're coming out of your value area. You put in the bearish divergence, right? But the reason this, in my book, right, the reason why I would bet more on this bearish divergence than one that might not play out a lot, really how I differentiate these is money flow. For this one, you had money flow trending out over time, right? And then you print that bearish divergence, and money flow was like, let's go back in time here. Like, let's come back to, go to regular candles, and let's go back in time to when this actually started printing. Let me actually go back to the actual candle, right? So you're watching price action here. And, okay, cool, we're coming out of our value area. Looks like we're a little bit overbought. I see a bearish divergence looking to form. And not only that, but money flow is trending out over time. So this is the ideal setup for a divergence, in my opinion, right? When you cut, you want to obviously be at a key level of resistance, and you want like some kind of other confirmation. But for the divergence to be strong, money flow coming out is a big thing that can help you stay out of bad trades when you're looking to trade divergences. So this one obviously played out a lot, and a big reason for that was because money flow was coming out, right? And you got the big move down to the value area low as you would expect. You come here, you look for the short here. You might have taken profits at your value area high. You got another little shot up to the upside, but then once you came down here, tried to break back out, but essentially this was just a bearish retest on your value area high, and then you nuked right to the low. So again, your volume profile played out, and having a look at that money flow was a big reason on why that wound up playing out so well. And then I'm not going to spend all the time trying to find one that didn't play out that well, but oftentimes, like if you had a bearish divergence, like let's just say you had a bear div printing right here with higher highs on your price, and you had lower highs on your momentum waves, but money flow was coming up. You might not want to be like looking at long. You might not want to short that thing to zero because you know money flow is coming up, which is likely going to begin the trend in the upside to the upside. So there you go. Keep an eye on the money flow. It'll help you stay out of bad trades. It's saved me countless times. So there you go. But anyway, that's what I would be looking at on the 4 hour, especially if your money flow started to round back up and come towards that zero line. Thank you, Tony D, for pinning that. Let's see. J-Rod said, Frankie 100. All I trade is divs. For that reason, I take high leverage and wait for the div to start playing out and take my profits and find another div. Shout out to J-Rod. Let's go, bro. You gotta love that. You gotta love that. Shout out to J-Rod 420. Let's go. Cap the Kirk in the chat. What's going on, Cap? All right, let's continue on. Oh, no, we got Rob the Crypto Snob scammers out there. Oh, God. Shout out to Danny Kitchen. Says, hey, Rob, been getting friend requests with fake profiles of yours. Wow, they're scamming Rob. Rob, hey, that's kind of low-key an accomplishment, but be careful of those scammers, guys. Let's go. They're impersonating Rob. I love it. I mean, I hate it, but it's kind of like, enough people know him where, they're trying to use him as a scam. It's a horrible thing. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to XRP, guys. Take a look at XRP. And here we are. I'm actually going to take a look. Actually, let's take a look at this XRP. So this is kind of the one that we've been looking at. We never got, same thing, right? Looking for that. Actually, we did get the move up to that level. So what we were looking at on Friday was a potential move up to our either purple box or golden pocket, which was also at the time a point of control. So we were looking at if we were potentially going to get a move up here, we were looking for that move to bring us up to this purple box, which again was an old, before price action moved, our point of control back in the day, not back in the day, but like back, let me go ahead and unextend this to the right. Our POC was up here with this golden pocket, right? And I believe the POC at one point was at the bottom of this purple box. So naturally, we were saying if we got a bounce here and we were able to hold above 70 cents, which remember was our value area low, we could potentially look for a move up to this purple box, potentially targeting the golden pocket / point of control of this kind of range that we have going on. And you can see here, obviously, we did wind up kind of bing-bonging around for a while, and we did get one little wick up right to that purple box. We front-ran it by just a couple of bucks, but we did get that move up towards that purple box before reversing right back to the downside, and now we are just simply sitting sideways like everything else. Again, nothing has really changed for XRP. I might actually skip some of these alts, guys, and just go straight to the ones that are moving because XRP remains exactly the same. And then obviously 786 was that level to the downside we were looking at if we lost our value area low, came down, tapped that 786, and now we're just back up here in that, just kind of local range here. It remains exactly the same. If we hold above that value area low at about 70 cents, we could potentially kind of just bing-bong around between the value area low and the POC of this range. If you get above the POC, that's kind of where I would look for a move back up to our golden pocket. However, if we look at our indicators, taking a look at the 8-hour, money flow is cruising to the downside. 10-hour, money flow is cruising to the downside, actually looking for a crossover into the red pretty soon here as our red dot prints on the 10-hour. So I would actually have to lean a little bit more bearish on XRP in the medium term. Money flow starting to creep out here. Daily money flow back in the red. This would indicate a potential continuation of the downtrend. And I will take the time. To point out, I don't even know why people were saying this, but for some reason, my comments on anything that I made XRP related was filled with people saying, Thursday is the day. Thursday on this date is the day that this happens, and price will go through the roof, 100% guaranteed. And I do want to point out that that did not happen. So once again, I want to be a vigilante against people who say they definitely 100% certainly know what's going to happen, because nobody knows, right? So just another situation where people were like, this is going to be the next thing. This day, on this date, at this time, some weird conspiracy thing is going to happen, and we're going to shoot up to $1,000 for XRP. I don't know where. I guess it was last Thursday was probably that time. What happened? We actually started a dump, right? So there you go. I'm not saying I knew that it was going to dump and they thought it was going to pump. I'm just saying everybody thought that because of this special weird thing that price was just going to magically rip to the upside. And the thing that I don't like about it is they say it with absolute certainty. They actually call and they're not even calling me stupid, right? Like, they're not even talking to me. But I just see people out there in the community saying things like, you're an idiot if you think XRP's ever going below 75 cents again, or whatever it is. It's like, no one's an idiot. Nobody knows. You can't be an idiot. Like, you can't be. No one knows what's going to happen. So I just want to point that out. Don't just listen to conspiracy theories. You want to actually, back your stuff up with information. But again, I don't know what they were looking at. I have no idea. I just saw tons of comments of just people saying that it was guaranteed Thursday was the day that we were going to break out. And I'm just like, in my head, just thinking like, how could you just pick a day of the week and decide that that's the breakout day without any kind of, I don't know. But anyway, here we are, guys. Again, things remain exactly the same. If we decisively lose our range lows here, meaning the value area low as well as the 786, I will look down towards this blue box where we have our golden pocket retracement level of the entire move up, right? So if we do get that move down there, it will make a lot of sense. Notice, I'm not saying that there's 100% guarantee that we get down there, because I don't know, right? No one does. But it would make a lot of sense if we did come down there, right? And there is information backing that. There's the local golden pocket of the whole move, and we know that price oftentimes will come down to that golden pocket to put in a higher low and then continue to the upside. Now, doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but let me get rid of that line. This, again, like, nothing's really changed. This is the blue box. This is what I'm looking at for XRP for our next long. Between this level is, not only is this the golden pocket, but the low of this, the bottom of this golden pocket lines up perfectly with our macro value area low. And I will actually thicken these lines. This is your macro POC. It's a thicker line because it's a stronger level. It's a macro level, right? So I'm going to make it white, and I'm going to make it thick. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that value area low as well. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a thick boy as well, right? So macro value area low, macro POC, macro value area high. So I'm going to make this big as well. Boom, right? So these are our macro levels. POC, value area high, value area low. Then we have the local levels in between. If we lose our local range, which again is right here, if we lose this local range, I will look for a move down to our macro value area low, where I will be looking for potential dip buys or long positions to potentially get a move back up where? Creighton, let them know. A move back up to the POC. Exactly. Shout out to Creighton C. That is what I would be looking at. If we break that macro range, right? And this macro range was pulled from the top of the last bull market. If we lose this macro range, meaning this value area low here, I will simply look down to the 786 retracement level of the entire move up, as well as the value area high that we previously broke out of to revisit the scene of the crime. I don't know if we're going to get all the way down there, but again, this is an if this, then that statement, right? If we lose the local low, I would look down here to the macro low. That's where I would be looking for bounces, right? If we lose our macro low, I will simply look down to the scene of the crime, right? And then we will look, because we know price likes to put in those higher lows, not only at the golden pocket, but sometimes it likes to go for the 786, which is the top of this blue box. And we also know that sometimes price likes to go test that scene of the crime, right? The area where you previously broke out from. So that would essentially be this blue box. And then that could be your higher low, right? You have your low, your higher low, and that would be the continuation to the upside. But as of right now, I will say money flow is coming out on a lot of these higher time frames, so I would be careful for a strong bounce from where we're at right now. And I will say this too, locally, 4 hour looking for the red dot. Yeah, I mean, I'd be careful. I would be careful. 2 hour red dot printing. Yeah, money flow coming out here. I would expect any moves to the upside to potentially be ready to roll back over to the downside because the way money flow looks on the higher time frames. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and hey, shout out to Rob. Okay, Rob, have a good night, bro. Get a good night's sleep. We love you. Can you? Hey, Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles popping her head in. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Go ahead and show a hand here. Can you please? She just waved at the 50K balloons. Oh, are you saying hi to them or the balloons? Oh, she said she's saying hi to my friends. Well, here's Mrs. Candles' hand. Mrs. Candles, can you put a nasty green healthy shot in this hand and then bring it back to me so I can do it in front of everybody so they can make fun of me? Yes, there is. You threw out all my healthy shots that I drink every single day? They expired in April, guys. Okay, I didn't drink the shot. You threw them all out for real?
The shots, yeah.
No, not the detox shots, like the ginger shots. They were all expired. Okay, guys. All right, no green shots. I thought we were going to get the green shots, guys.
Green drink, but no shots.
Okay, get me the green drink, I guess. It's better than Aztecian cactus moss water, healthier. But you guys know nothing's healthier than Aztecian cactus moss water. Could you bring me a juice? I'm feeling healthy. Please. Thank you, Your Majesty. Oh, hey, shout out to Thesis says Gala and Ape, prees. Shout out to you. Only because you said prees. I'm kidding. Shout out to Thesis himself. Let's see. Frankie, no, it's poison. No more shots, bro. Shout out to Creators Crypto. Dang, the realism of these fake dolls is getting out of hand. Get it? Out of hand? Tony, I saw what you did there. Shout out to Tony D. But let's go. DZ's got some soft hands. No comment. No comment. Anyway, shout out to Thesis. Yeah, we'll take a look at Gala and Ape. No problemo. But there you go. There's XRP, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into, I'm going to do Curve, Hex, because those are going to be quick ones. Curve and Hex. And then we will, and then let's go ahead and check out, I want to check out Link. And I also want to check out Caspa, because those are two things we were looking at on the live stream on Friday, and we want to check in on that stuff. All right, let's continue on here. All right, so Hex. Let's take a look at Hex. As you guys know, Hex went to 0. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Not really. Kind of. But let's take a look here. We'll just look at the BitGet chart here. And Hex obviously has been having a rough time here. And obviously, guys, Richard Hart is getting I don't know the exact details, so don't take this with he's getting attacked by the SEC. I guess they're going after him for fraud. And I don't know that much about Hex. I talk about this all the time. Like, I've never held Hex. I actually thought about buying Hex for this cycle. Good thing I haven't. But you know, Hex has performed pretty well in the past, obviously. Now, I know it gets a lot of criticism, but again, I don't really know much about Hex, right? So whether it was a scam or is a scam is totally beyond me, right? But all I do is look at the charts. And I will say, like, I mean, all overall, you know, Hex, you know, like, it doesn't, I mean, massive pump, massive dump, but like, this looks like most other cryptocurrencies, right? So, you know, kind of hard to just call it a scam outright. Again, I don't have any idea. Like, maybe it is. I mean, if the SEC's going after him, I'm sure there's something sus going on. But here we go. Let's take a look here if we can get anything, if we can take a look at anything on this chart that could potentially give it some life. Let's see. Yeah. I will say this. There has always been something. Oh, my God, guys. This is the worst day of my life. This is the worst day of my life, guys. I just spilled Aztecian cactus moss water all over the place. Unbelievable. I need to. I'll be right back, guys. Well, guys, while I'm cleaning this real quick, I spilled an entire cup of coffee at the office on my desk, completely saturated my Bing Bong mouse pad. Also in the merch store, if you guys want to check those out, they're super cool. Just don't spill an entire cup of black coffee all over it, and you should be fine. Yeah, I spilled an entire cup of black coffee all over my desk at the office, and I now just doused my entire home studio in Aztecian cactus moss water, but it is now cleaned up, luckily, because I always keep paper towels super close by. Anyway, continuing on here with the Hex TA, guys. Tony D Yeah, Spec. Shout out to Tony T. I almost got up to get those paper towels like this. Okay, I need a day off. Shout out to Tony T. Yeah. I'm having a rough day today, guys. It's just like one of those days. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I spilled coffee all over. Bitcoin's boring. Like, everything's just not going my way. But understand this, guys. Days like this come, and we do not let them defeat us. We just put that smile on and keep on chugging forward. Let's do it. Okay, here we go, guys. Continuing on. Anyway, one of those things, it just, for some reason, it would eat away at me. And I'd just be like, I feel like I'm going to regret not owning Hex one day. And, guys, that feeling was 100% wrong. That's why we do not trade based off feelings. Hi, Mrs. Candles. You missed it. I just spilled stuff all over the place. Okay, and now we got the green juice, guys, which I will also spill all over. Anyway, continuing on here. Thank you, Mrs. Candles. You're the best. Everybody says that you have very, very soft hands, and the plastic dolls are getting very realistic. And this one's actually battery-powered, so it actually moves, guys. Can you bend the fingers, Mrs. Candles? There you go. Oh, she's got new nails. Check out her new nails, guys. It's too bright. You can't see them, but they're cool. Anyway, guys, let's continue on here with the Hex TA. I also have new nails, guys. I painted them as well. But let's take a look here. Obviously, taking a big dump here. And let me go ahead. I don't know what this is. Our range was pulled. When was this? This was in May. We're on the 2-day. So let's go ahead and move this to our current kind of price action here. And let's go down to the 4. Bailey Armstrong. Shout out to Bailey. Says, Frankie, just admit it. You're the puppet master. There's no batteries in that thing. Hey, listen, guys. We don't have the marionette hand on that CandleMafia t-shirt for nothing. I mean, I'm a big puppet master. You know what I'm saying? And I got... never mind. I got multiple dolls. That's all I'll say. Anyway, continuing on. Shout out to Dark Crash. But... Yo, Crypto 101 said, as soon as I saw Richard Hart twerk, I shorted 100x on Hex. Oh, God. I remember that video, actually. But anyway, oh, my God. Shout out to Mark. But, guys, taking a look here, I will say this. Like, where was, when did this news break? This news broke this morning, I believe. I would actually argue, like, even with news like that, guys, what happened? Price simply, hey, shout out to Joe Farrar for joining the Wise Guys. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, it dropped this morning. Okay, yeah, 10 a.m. it dropped. And what happened here? Potentially, what's today? Today's the 31st. Yeah, so, I mean, what happened? You came from your low to your high. Bearish rejection. You're expecting price to then go to the POC. Price slowly grinded down to the POC and the value area low. Back above the POC. Flipped it to support. Right back to the high. Deviation. Bearish retest. Acceptance back into the range, I would say, on your second bearish retest. Now you're expecting price to go to the value area low and maybe, stop off at the POC first. Right? But all I want to point out here, guys, is regardless of that news, if you were looking for shorts up here, as you probably would have been if you were looking at this macro value area, and I'm not saying I took this trade or was looking at this trade at all, but I'm just saying, if you're looking even at your local value area, which I would argue is like right here, and I will go ahead and right here, you could have potentially just been looking for shorts, whether you were looking for a swing short from your macro value area or a scalp short from your local value area. 30-minute. Let's see if you had any kind of signal to go short within this local value area. Let's see. Ooh, you definitely have a 5-minute bear div. Oh no. Oh yeah, it's because it's yeah. Either way, right? There was no signal technically on this chart to go short here. Or even like on the macro, no real technical reason to go short here. However, kind of my point here, guys, is that regardless of the news, you would expect price, like when you're looking at the volume profiles, you're simply just looking at a rejection from the value area high. Where's price likely to go next? The POC, and then potentially the value area low. And where is price right now, guys? It's sitting right at the value area low. So whatever. Nothing really, no actionable stuff there, but it is just interesting that, like, where's price sitting? Right at the value area low, which you would have already been expecting from all the way back here since the 29th. But anyway, yes, I mean, this is hard to say. Snake eyes on your 90-minute. Taking a look at the daily. Yeah, daily red dot confirmed. Money flow technically coming up. This is going to be maybe not the best thing to respect TA at this point. But yeah, red dot printing on your 2-day, not the best look. 3-day red dot, 4-day red dot, 5-day looking for the red dot, 6-day looking for the red dot, and the weekly also looking for a red dot, which could likely bring you even lower, potentially bringing you back down to these lows, at 0.003, right? But I don't really want to, if I could find a case for, some kind of a local bounce to come in, I mean, the case would have to be made at the value area low with a potential bullish divergence. Not really guys, obviously, I'll be honest, I'm obviously would not be looking to long this anytime soon. So yeah. And, on top of that, not really seeing many signs to go long. You could get a slight bull div on your 4-hour, but again, if as the story develops, maybe we just get a retrace and then another move down. Key levels for me, I would be looking down. If you do get another move down, I would look. Yeah, I would look to potentially revisit some of the lows that we made. Yeah, I would probably look down here. I'm not going to call out the levels just because it's pretty far away. But next stop, if we continue down, may be the move down to these next two, levels from all the way back here. And another thing to realize here, guys, I just want to point this out. Blood Diamond, did this Blood Diamond, this is why I always say, show me the charts, I'll tell you. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news, right? It's Blood Diamond on the 12-hour is likely to give you some kind of a significant move to the downside. And after bearishly retesting the value area high with the comfort, we talk about this all the time. Deviate from the value area high. You look for the breakdown, the bearish retest, and sometimes if you can get a confirmation of a Blood Diamond or something like that, that's where your move down begins. Where would you be looking down to? The POC and then the value area low. And where are we sitting? Right at the value area low. So shout out to the volume profile. Did the Blood Diamond and the value area high retest know that this was going to come out and dump price back down to the value area low? I don't know. But all I know is I could have seen this coming before that news ever came out. And again, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying the news doesn't. Obviously, it dumped. When people hear the news, it causes panic selling. So I'm not saying the chart is what dumps the price. I'm just saying it's really interesting that before this bearish news, you had a Blood Diamond on the 12-hour with a bearish retest on the value area high, and you would have already been targeting this low. It's crazy. So there you go. Anyway, let's take a quick look at Link. Link and Caspa. I want to cover these really quickly, and then we'll go ahead and cover Ape and Gala. Ape and Gala. So let's go ahead and take a look at Link really quickly here, guys. So let me see if I could pull up the Link chart that we were looking at on the stream. I pulled this up in the premium Discord. Here it is, guys. If you were tuned in to Friday's live stream, we gave this for free. We gave this as a freebie. I think I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's give them a freebie on today's show. This is what we were looking at on Link. We were looking for a potential move back up into this local golden pocket and a potential rejection. Let me see. Friday. Now, where were we on Friday? 28th. Looking for this move. Let me see. Friday. Oh, no, it's 10 p.m., 2 p.m., yeah, so we were, I guess, down here somewhere. And this is what we're looking at, guys. Let me delete some of these lines, although this one is fun to look at. But there we go. Boom, boom, boom. So we were talking about, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but Link short played out real nice, to be honest. Shout out to Chemistry, bro. Yeah, I'll be honest. I guess we were down here. I thought we were like approaching this resistance, but I guess. Oh no! Wait a second. Yeah, I guess maybe we were. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but this is what we were looking at. Like if we just come all the way back, let's go to the 1 hour, and let's say, let's see, 5:45 on Friday. Maybe it was Thursday we were looking at it. Because if I look at these lines, it looked like we were probably right here. So maybe we were looking at it on Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know. I am going to go back and find that clip and figure out when we were talking about this. But essentially, guys, really what I want to focus on here is not about us talking about it before it happened. What I want to talk about is what we were looking for and why we look for it. That way, when you see something else do this, you could get into a short position. So in the premium Discord, you will remember we talked about this. We were actually going short on Link up here on this 786 retest. So this was obviously the most prime short entry on this trade, right? Hit it for like 12%. And again, like this is where you want to get into that short. If you miss the short entry from the top, what do? You sit on your hands and you wait for the retracement. And you either wait for this retracement into the value area low for another entry for a move down, or if you miss that entry too, you sit on your hands and wait for the retracement back up, and then you look for another entry. So we saw it here earlier, but price wound up playing out pretty nicely to the downside, and then we would sit on our hands and wait for the retest. Where is that retest likely to happen? And this is what we were looking at either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday when we were talking about it on the stream. Where is that retest likely to come in? Where is that retracement likely to come in? Well, you want to look at your Fibonacci golden pocket retracements from the high all the way to the low of the move. This fib pulls, and it comes in right here. And you are now, if you go back in time, right, this was last week, you missed the move, so what do? You wait for the bounce, and once you get the bounce, now you're getting, well, I went a little too fast there. Once you get the bounce, this is where you wind up pulling your golden pocket, right? Because now you're starting to get a bounce, and you're like, hey, if this is going to be a retracement, I need to see where that local golden pocket is because I know that's likely where the lower high will be put in before reversing back to the downside and potentially putting in another lower low. And I want to make money off of that. So what do? I go ahead, I pull my fib from the high all the way to the low of the move, and where's that golden pocket? It's sitting right here. We did this on the live stream, live. You wait for the retest, and price comes up, and boom, we start testing that golden pocket. Now you're looking for your short entry at this golden pocket with the idea or thought that you could potentially come up and retest your 786. You always have to be ready for that potential 786 test. Because sometimes you reject the golden pocket, and sometimes you reject the 786, and it's very hard to tell what's going to happen. So you got to be prepared for both situations to happen. But what happened here, we wound up just kind of hanging out. I'll come to the 30-minute. Just kind of hung out here on the golden pocket as we tested it. Now, not only are we hanging out on the golden pocket, guys, could we have found a short entry here? Well, let's see. You do have a 30-minute bearish divergence, which is definitely shortable, right? 15-minute, you also had a clean. This is where you're starting to think. 15-minute bearish divergence. You have your higher highs on your price. I can't wait to find this clip because if a lot of times this is what I talk about is like if we get a higher high on price into our key level, and we get that bear div, that could be a little scalp you could look for it to potentially play out more. And this is on Thursday, you get that 15-minute bear div with your price action making higher highs, volume, momentum waves making lower highs, and this would be, again, I'm not going to look for I would like more confirmation than just that, but you have your 15-minute bear div. What's the 4-hour doing? Okay, 4-hour VWAP is coming down, right? That would indicate a red dot incoming. I don't know this, so don't take this to the bank just yet, because if we didn't talk about it, I don't want to take credit for it. But I do want to say that I may have even talked about a fake out into the money flow, fake out into the green with money flow before coming back into the red. Because again, you want to remember a lot of the higher time frames on a lot of these coins, guys, was coming out, right? 12-hour money flow coming out. 16-hour money flow coming out, right? Even though it was coming up locally, this is likely going to be a lower high, right? And I think we even talked about that. But you get the 15-minute bear div. You know money flow on the higher time frames is coming out, right? Yeah, 10-hour money flow is coming out. 12-hour money flow also coming out. So that is where you would be looking for your entry. You know, obviously, everyone's got a different amount of confirmations they look for. But once you get all those confirmations, that was a few of them just right there. And obviously, you would look to potentially go ahead and enter that. And now look what you did, right? And again, you know, stop loss is going to be, you know, dependent on your risk tolerance. But now what did we do? You could think to yourself, hey, if we don't, you know, we didn't FOMO short down here and then get absolutely wrecked. We waited and we were patient for the retest, and then we know the lower high is likely to be put in right here. We talk about this all the time. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, kind of technically, depending on, you know, if you're looking at the internal structure. But you wait for that bearish retest, and that's where you're looking to enter the trade. And we'll see if we got any crazy wicks to the upside or anything like that. And then I guess not. We kind of just bing-banged around on that golden pocket for quite some time. And then eventually it wound up playing out, not all the way, obviously, but we did start to get that move to the downside. And that was given live for free on the YouTube channel here, guys. We do this every single day. But, you know, we're not always calling, you know, not always getting setups like this. But just move up to a higher time frame to see this actually just play out quicker. And there you go. And it almost played out fully. It brought you all the way down for about a 7% move. And we look at exactly what to look for and why we look for the things at these levels. So I just wanted to take a quick look at Chainlink just to show that, guys, because you know, we look at this stuff every day, and it just goes to show, like, if you're paying attention and you're taking notes and you're applying this stuff to your trading, you should be getting a good idea of how this stuff works, right, and how to become a better trader. And that's the goal here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, is not for me to withhold all my TA and make you guys a slave to my TA, but teach you how to do it so you could see these setups come, not just if we don't see it happen live, and I'm not talking about it live, you could get off this live stream and go to the charts and find it yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and, you know, take a look at the higher time frames. Money flow kind of coming out. Yeah, I mean, money flow continuing to look the same as similar to Bitcoin. 10-hour money flow coming out. Short term, I will say, or medium term, your VWAPs on the higher hourlies are starting to come up. Like your 6-hour VWAP starting to come back up. 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour. So I would look for some turbulence here, maybe another bounce to the upside before continuing back down. But, you know, would still be looking for this to potentially come back down to about $7.19 to retest this point of control. Because, again, remember, we have now broken down below our macro value area high, right? You deviate, lose the value area high, bearish retest, you would be looking to come to the low. So that's still in the cards. No guarantees, but still definitely in the cards. And I just popped up into this chat, and I did notice, yeah, I did just realize. Frank, thanks for all your help. Keep it up. Shout out to TD42. Dirty GQ. Shout out to you, man. No problem, bro. You don't got to thank me. I love doing this. And shout out to Creighton C says, someone wants Frankie's attention, insults him, but then asks him to do a chart for him. Oh, man. Dang. I wish I saw that. I wish I saw that. But anyway, continuing on. I wish I saw that. We would have made him a fan. We would have, if someone was actually hating, we would have made him a fan. But anyway, let's see. Okay, but let's continue on here because we are running out of time. That was Link. Let's take a look at Caspa, which I believe is another short. Potentially, what were you looking at Caspa short? I'm not 100. I don't really remember. I remember the Link one, but I think we were looking at something on Caspa. I don't remember. Yeah, well, we'll just do TA on Caspa either way. So, let's see here. Oh, baby. Take a look at the 1 hour. We are approaching the local value area high, right? So, as you approach that high, guys, you know, potentially, you know, 1 hour bear div looking to print here. If we can come up and tap that value area high, would be somewhat of a simple range trade. And it's not, obviously there's got to be more to it. But if we come up here, we get that higher high on price, lower high on our momentum waves. Look for a potential short back down to the POC and then potentially back down to your value area low. I don't know. Let's see what the rest of the chart looks like, but we are approaching resistance with some signals indicating that we could get another move to the downside here, or an initial move to the downside. VWAP looking a cool, 4 hour looking for a red dot as well. No divergence. Let's check that 15-minute money flow. Yeah, you're about to put in a 15-minute bear div here as well on Caspa. So with your 4 hour VWAP looking for that red dot, 15-minute money flow I'd like to see coming out here. However, it is coming up a bit. So no real confluence there. 24-minute money flow generally coming to the downside. I would be careful here. 8 hour VWAP cooling off just a little bit here. Taking a look at the daily green dot printing. I would give this a chance. I would let this breathe a little bit. That daily green dot is a little bit sus. So potentially, I mean, here's the thing. 1 hour bear money flow coming up. I wouldn't put too much weight on this bear div on the 1 hour just because of the daily green dot. But what I would look for is a potential. I probably won't take this. I'll be honest. I probably won't take this. But a potential 15-minute bear div here on this value area high. If you get that, you may be able to get a little bit of a scalp here. Let me pull the local volume. Yeah, I'll go ahead and see. Yeah, ooh, it might be starting right now. But yeah, like as you deviate from this local range, you're getting a local bear div and a little bit of more of a like regional bear div or a more macro bear div, if you will. So if you are able to catch a short up here, I would look to ride this potentially down to the POC of the macro range or the value area low of the local range, right? And if you were to take a position like that, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying if you were and it were to play out, that would be about a 3% move. That's a scalpable move in my opinion, but I would be very careful with this, right? I would have a tight stop on this because of that daily green dot. If that daily green dot is going to push you higher, I would actually look for a daily bearish divergence. So if you are to push up here and make a higher high on Caspa and you could set up for a nice daily bearish divergence, which would be a much more likely short, in my opinion, right? So if I were to take a short here on Caspa, it would be a local short on this local range, not a macro short. And I would be very careful. I wouldn't even really have that high hopes for it just because of that daily green dot could continue to push you up. But again, once that daily green dot kind of plays out, that's where I would start to feel a little bit more comfortable looking for a short on Caspa. And if you were looking to take that kind of lower time frame scalp short, if you don't get that higher high on the daily, you could, potentially catch the top here. But again, I don't like taking, longer term shorts when you have that daily green dot because that's likely to push you up at some point. Let's see. Shout out to Gamer Saftane. Shout out to you, man. Don't know if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. He says, price just kiss your trend line as you draw it to the value area high at Caspa. Did it? Did it hit the... Oh, shout out to Gamer. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was like, if we can come up and kiss this value area high and get that 1 hour bear div, I mean, again, definitely I'm not saying I will take this, but again, this is what we look for, or part of what we look for at least, before we start looking for our confirmations. Bearish divergence into your key level could be a reversal back to the downside. But again, with the daily green dot, I wouldn't be looking for it to give us a big move just yet. So take that for what it's worth. So locally, looking for a potential local short. But, in all, I would wait for that daily green dot to potentially push you up higher and then get a higher entry for the bigger move down. And then, as far as money flow, money flow looks stronger on Caspa than a lot of other stuff. Yeah, on the 6 hour, it's coming down. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'd be very careful with that daily green dot. But this is tempting. I will say that. I'll leave that there. Not financial advice. Do not copy trade. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here, and let's take a quick look at, shout out to Thesis, man. Thank you for being patient. Take a quick look at Gala, and let's take a quick look at Gala, and what was it? Gala, yeah, we'll just go to Gala, and I'll figure this out in a minute. All right, let's go ahead and clear all our drawings here and start fresh for Gala. Yeah, I mean, Gala's still like almost 90% off. Oh yeah, curve. We'll look at curve as well. But yeah, still down 97%. But let's go ahead and pull some volume. Not an anchored profile. I'm actually going to pull this from the peak. I'm going to analyze the range, not the range. However, we are going to analyze the trend here. Because we don't really have much of a range to analyze. So yeah. This is kind of what I would look for. We got to get back above this value area low. We've broken down bearish retest. We got to get back above this. If we do not get back above this, we could potentially break down more. But here's the thing. Looking at the daily green dot, like almost about to print, this is a decent sign. So this could easily, get us back up above that value area high. So I will pull this local range as well. Let's pull locally here. Yeah, so you're at your value. You're deviating from your macro value area, which is a decent sign that you could get sucked back in, right? And then your local value area, you're sitting just at your value area low. And if we come down to a lower time frame, such as the 45-minute, granted, the 45-minute could potentially be my least favorite time frame. I just feel like things don't play out on the 45-minute like they should. But we are potentially, is that printing? Yeah. Confirmed bullish divergence on the 1 hour. So let me spawn these levels really quickly. So yeah, you are getting money flow basically trending to the upside, right? It's a little wish-washy, but you are generally trending up over time. Your momentum is also generally trending up over time. Basic market cipher strategy. That would be a point in the books for a move up. And on top of that, you have the lower lows on your price action here, giving you your bullish divergence on the 1 hour. This could be the thing that can help you get back above that value area low, right? And by value area low, I mean the local one. You still got to get, this is really the big one you got to get above. But locally, you got to get back up here. So, I would see bullish divergence confirmed on the 1 hour, printing on the 2 hour. This could potentially give you a short-term push up. Not the strongest divergence, but money flow is coming straight out here, so I would be careful, but generally you're trending up with time. So basically what I would look here for Gala, quick and dirty, is these divergences to hopefully get you above this value area low, give you a move to the POC, eventually get you back up to your value area high, in which case this would be your extremely key level, right? Like this is the level that you really want to get above. This is all just busy work. Right? Like you got to get through this range. You got to fill this range before you can have a shot of getting back up into your actual macro range to continue back up to higher prices. So you got to win this battle before you can win this war, right? You got to win this battle before you can conquer this land, if you will. Hopefully that makes sense. So there you go. There's Gala. And let's just take a real quick look at Curve. I don't know why I'm typing it out. But let's take a look at Curve Dow. Obviously, they did have an exploit. Not great. Did get a nice little dump ski here. And let's zoom out to the daily and see what we got going on. Now, we could actually look at this as somewhat of a sideways range, right? Like, for the most part, you're getting support here, support here, support here, support here, right? And you got resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, right? So generally, obviously, this is probably going to be, if I had to guess, this would kind of be your value area, if I had to guess. And then everything else would kind of be deviations. But I don't know. Let's see if we pull our range here, if we can find the value area. Okay, so we were a little bit off. But these are the levels I would indeed take. So we are potentially, now I don't know the severity of this hack. And I'm just being completely honest with you guys. I don't want to act like I know something that I don't. But what I would look for here is if you don't think that Jonah Plainclothes exploited curves. Anyway, when you're looking at curve here, if we put in this bullish divergence on the 2-day, this would be somewhat, and this is if you don't think, this hack ruined the project completely. If you think this will come back, this 2-day bull div might be something to look at. Right now, this doesn't look like it's going to print anytime soon. So plenty of time for this to either become a stronger divergence or potentially even invalidate the divergence, right? So there's time for this to actually develop. I wouldn't be pulling triggers on this, but with our lower low on our price action here, if we can confirm this, you got another 17 hours to confirm this candle. If you get that lower low on your price action with the higher lows on your momentum waves, I would look for a potential move up here. And then the battle becomes getting back above this value area low, very similar to what we were just looking at. I'm losing my voice. Very similar to what we were just looking at on Gala, right? Looking to get back above that value area low. Why? Because that opens the door to get back up to the POC and then the value area high. So as you deviate, right, like this happened last time, we got to move down, a deeper deviation, and then acceptance back in, come to the high, right? Even here, deviation, and then acceptance, and then back up to the high. And then deviation, acceptance, bearish retest. We always talk about this, bearish retest. Acceptance back into the range, straight to the POC, right to jail. And then rejection to the value area low, right? Simple value area stuff, right? Up to the high, up to the high, reject the high, come to the POC, reject the POC, right to the low. Back to the POC, back to the low. So this is kind of what I would look for on curve. Again, I don't know the severity of this whole thing, but you do not have a daily bull div, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping that was going to be printing. So yeah, I would look for the divergences on the higher time frames. And if that 2-day, if this winds up coming even lower, right, and you put a lower low than we have on your price action, I would potentially even look again at that 2-day and 3-day bullish divergence, right? So that's kind of what I would look for a recovery on curve. So there we go. The lover boy method. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's see. But yeah, yeah, some interesting stuff going on in the chat. I actually like this, because I obviously don't really have much of an opinion on this, because again, I've never owned I've never owned any of this, right? Like Hex, not that Curve had anything to do with it. But I see some people saying Pulse Chain is dead. I knew it was a scam. And then Hamza said Pulse Chain isn't a scam because the SEC, or he's saying Pulse Chain isn't just a scam just because the SEC is suing it, or suing Richard Hart. The SEC also sued Ripple, which is, I love the way that you're looking at things, right? Sure, maybe Pulse Chain is a scam. Maybe it's not, right? Again, I don't feel comfortable saying it because I'm not fully informed on the situation, and I don't want to give information that I'm not 100% positive on. But maybe it's a scam, maybe it's not a scam. But I love that you're saying that, yeah, and Hamza says, surely it could be. Who knows? Absolutely. That is the answer. But I love that you're just open-minded to the idea that, hey, they sued Ripple. Ripple's not a scam, right? So I love that you're saying that. But yeah, totally could be a scam. Who knows? I don't really mess around with that stuff, right? That's kind of why. Like, if there's murmurs of it being a scam, like, I'd rather just go after one of the other bazillion coins that I know are not a scam, right? Or are more sure that are not a scam. But guys, with all that being said, shout out to Creighton C said, don't call Frankie Shirley. But yeah, is Pulse Chain a scam? Who knows? I don't know. Could totally be. I have no idea. But I just love that you're open-minded, right? And like, again, for me, for me, it's just like, if there's even people talking about it being a scam, like, why not just go invest in something that I'm like sure or more sure isn't a scam? But guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I don't know why I'm losing my voice right now. I'm like it's Monday. It's not even like I've been scream talking all week and now my voice is gone. It's just randomly gone. But yeah, shout out to the bird next door. No problem. I got you, bro. He says thanks for the TA. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. We actually went way over time, which is hilarious. Yo, maybe Band-Aid said inhaler? Shout out to you, man. But yeah, this is hilarious, guys. I was thinking about maybe doing a shorter stream today just because things were so boring, and you just never know what happens. Like, here we are going 2 hours and 10 minutes before we even spin the wheel. But I will say this, guys. I want to hop out of here. So let's check the likes right now. And you know what? We'll just spin the dang wheel. Let's just spin the dang wheel. I was gonna push it till tomorrow, but what's an extra 4 minutes? We'll just have to deal with all the spammy pop-up ads. But here we go. How many likes do we have? Did we get 550? Oh, 450, baby. So close. Smash that like button. It's not too late, guys. Today's episode is brought to you by Wingstop. New flavor drop. They do now have the lemon herb remix. Wow. Guys, I think I was just a victim. Oh, hey, screen. Oh, there we go. There's the screen. But yeah, guys, I think I'm a victim of marketing right now. I feel like I'm very rarely a victim of marketing. But I think I'm going to get Wingstop tonight. Shout out to Wingstop. But give them a giveaway, baby. We got 4 spins. If we run it up to 500, I'll give us the extra spin for sure. But we didn't get 550. If we get 550 by the end of the stream, I will spin it 20 times. But I just don't know if we're going to get there. 2 giveaways in a row, baby. Let's go. Give them a giveaway. Live. Let's pull up the, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what lemon chicken remix is or lemon pepper. I don't even remember what it said. Underground only. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here. Yeah, M-Fold. Yeah, he says, yeah, better to ask Mrs. Candles what she wants. Probably a good choice there. Anyway, shout out to you, bro. Frankie Sauce Wings, let's go. Shout out to Crypto Crabman, said new from Wingstop. Frankie Sauce Wings, let's go. The giveaway, shout out to Danny Kitchen. Appreciate you for being here, bro. The giveaways are announced on Friday. So we do this every single week, every single day, Monday through Friday. We do this every day. And then, yeah, I mean, most of the time you get a giveaway every time. But we add all these giveaways up, and then we do all the giveaways on Friday, and we just do like a big giveaway at the end of every week. So here we go. One more spin, baby. We're almost at 500 likes. It's baby milk. Don't deny it. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Hey, Frankie's wing sauce is low-key fire. Let's go. Tony D said, if you buy my Wingstop, I'll deliver yours. Shout out to Tony D. God, Tony D knows how to make a deal. Do you see what he did there? He started with an offer. And he wants something, like he's saying like, hey, like I'd like some free Wingstop, but he's offering something in return. And he says it all at one time, like, if you buy mine, I'll deliver, like it's almost like starts off with like, well, hey, why would I buy yours? Then it's just like, well, I'll deliver you yours. And now I kind of have this weird feeling like I'm not going to get Wingstop unless Tony brings it to me. Fine, Tony, fine. I do have to check on Mrs. Candles, though. She might not want Wingstop. But if she does, I will hold you up to that, and I will get your Wingstop. But, guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got. That was 5 giveaways in a row, I think. Yeah, 5 giveaways in a row. Starting off the week strong, guys. Bitcoin might be boring. Shout out to Jessica. But, yeah, you know, guys, super boring price action here. Like I said, I thought I was going to end early, but we went overtime. I don't know how that happens. But shout out to you guys. CandleMafia coming in clutch on this boring day, making the Frankie Candles live stream fun. And, yeah, by the way, the bear div on the 1 minute is super weak. Bear div on the 1 minute on Bitcoin? Potentially. Shout out to Bailey Armstrong. Shout out to you, bro. Said, we love you, Frankie. I love you guys back. The American Show. The American Show is going to go eat a pickle. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. I love pickles. The green pickles. Let's see. But, yeah, I'll show you yours if you show me mine. Wait. My Wingstop? Oh, so someone asked about it. But yeah, guys, with and drink some pickle juice. Why does that sound good? Pickle juice is low-key good. It's like vinegar, and that's about and like seasoning. But I don't know why it's good. Anyway, guys, with all that being said, watch out obviously for any short-term volatility on Bitcoin. You want to keep an eye on the 1 through the 4 hour as those VWAPs are coming up. So a short-term move to the upside may be in store here. But again, with the way money flow looks on the higher time frames, I would be looking to short those lower highs on the way down. So be careful for that pump. because it might just turn around and come right back down. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate you all for tuning in and sticking around till the end of this live stream with the sideways action. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATP. Shout out to my boy DZ and Mrs. Candle's hands. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
AMR Beats, what we got?
Yeah, time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's saying enough. It's time to receive for all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't he son to believe in and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time if a dollar's a cut of eyes. They get X'd out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know how to plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We played the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
At Thesis himself. At Thesis himself. Thesis, I'm adding you. Hopefully you hear me. Forgot to look at ApeCoin for you, bro, so we're just going to hop right into it. Here we go. Frankie Fakeout with a little bit of, with a side of sauce. Frankie Fakeout with a side of sauce. Here we go. Taking a look at ApeCoin, guys. Now, it's actually been a while since I've looked at ApeCoin, and I now know that, now that I'm looking at ApeCoin. I'm like, dang, I haven't looked at this thing in forever. This thing has just been brutal lately. Taking a look at the higher time frames, I will say this. Your daily VWAP getting rejected at the 0 line, but here's the thing. You are potentially, in about 5 minutes, about to put in a bullish divergence on the daily, right? Here you go. Lower highs, higher lows. Sorry. Lower lows, higher lows. You got that bullish divergence on the daily. Your money flow is kind of flat, right? But this would be Mrs. Candles is calling me. Sorry, guys, this is a fake out. I feel like I can answer the phone on a fake out. Hello, Mrs. Candles. Yeah. That's okay. Oh, no, that's okay. See you later. Anyway, but here you go. Daily bullish divergence looking to print here, guys, as you deviate below your range, right? Now, on top of that, if we come up to some of these higher time frames, you are looking to, you're getting way closer, right? You're getting pretty close to printing that 12-hour bull div. Taking a look at the 8-hour, like really close to putting in that divergence, right? 6-hour, looking to print it, getting rejected at the 0 line slightly. You're kind of playing bing bong here with your red and green dots. But yeah, red dot looking to but look at that VWAP. That VWAP might want to come back up. But really what I'm looking at here, guys, would be the 2 hour. The 2 hour bullish divergence is looking to print here now. Your money flow is coming out, starting to round off locally. I'm probably not going to take this trade. It would be a little bit dicey in my opinion. But you do have a nice bull div here, right? It's not the most beautiful, but you do have lower lows. You do have higher lows. Your daily is looking to put in a bullish divergence as well. And, it is – I would be looking at this. I don't think that this is likely to give you like a massive move or anything like that until your daily bull div prints, which you're kind of far away from. You can see your VWAP is coming down, not up. But looking at that 2 hour, if you confirm or start printing this bullish divergence, what I would be looking at is a potential move up to retest. To potentially retest your value area low, right? And again, if at that time, once you get up to this level, that daily bull div is printing then, right? Let me go ahead and put that line back. If we get that move up, right, I would look for a test of this value area low and then maybe a cool off. And then maybe that daily bull div is printing, and that's what gets you above your value area low up into your POC, which is coming in at about $2.08. So short and sweet thesis. I realized I didn't cover this for you, so I did just want to cover this really, really quickly. Is a little dicey. I don't love the way the money flow looks, but this 2 hour bull div, if it does give you a move up into your value area high, that could be a tradable move as well as the beginning of a bigger move to the upside if by the time you get up here and cool off, your daily bull div starts to print. So 2 hour bull div hopefully can get you somewhere in this region and give the daily some time to print or get closer to printing that daily bullish divergence. That could potentially give you the bigger move up to your POC at about $2.08. And then obviously you would look if you get above that POC to get to your value area high, which could get you as high as about $2.30, which again would in hindsight just look like a simple value area trade. So quick and dirty on the ape. But I wanted to get that for you, thesis. I didn't want to leave you hanging, especially because you super chatted. I do appreciate it. So there you go. Hopefully you're still in chat. I'm not looking at chat right now, so I don't know if you're in there. But shout out to Thesis himself. I appreciate everybody for being here. That's all the time we got. This is like the longest Frankie Candles live stream I've ever done. That's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and maxed out, put the